Hi folks, and welcome back to Broadside Game with me, Zug. So I promised you a veteran stealth build, and here we have it. So let's dive in and see what it entails. So we are using the combat blade, more specifically the Kachan Mark 6. Yes, Mark 6. And as you can see here with the modifier rollout, we are dumping out mobility again because screw mobility, as always. We're trying to maximize the amount of damage we can do with this build. Also, it is an incredibly versatile weapon that allows us to do the lunge forward as we're running. So you're sprinting and you're heavy attacking to give yourself a burst of speed that only zealots can dream about. Right, so that's the little burst speed thing. So let's look at the perks as well. We are going for 25% damage to maniacs and 25% damage to flak. Flak is the most prevalent armor type in the game, and this build is mostly built around you being the specialist hunter, which is why we're going for maniac damage as well, because we can pop out of stealth, stab them in the face, and just drop them. Some people might prefer to run crit, but in this build I think it's better to get that base damage up to hit those breakpoints. As for the blessings, we are going for Lacerate and Mercy Killer. So, Lacerate gives us plus 4 stacks of bleed on weak spot hits, and Mercy Killer gives us plus 60% weak spot damage enemies with bleed stacks. So this is all about hitting those weak spots to apply bleeds and then apply huge amounts of damage to it. This is quite different from the rending build, but it works quite nicely. Next up, we've got the Recon Lasgun, more specifically the Mark 12. Again, we're dumping out mobility. I know some of you are going to say, oh, collateral's the thing. No. No. Not on my channel. Mobility. And yeah, as you can see, damage, ammo, collateral, stability, all maxed out. Gives us a hell of a lot of stagger and basically a silky smooth firing action because we're not taking that much recoil from it. And for the perks, we're going for Flak and Crit. Again, Flak is the most prevalent armor type in the game. And it's going to help us just gun down those targets that we're looking for, which is going to be gunners, shotgunners, basically anything that's going to threaten our team, we are hunting them. This is a very proactive hunting build instead of a more backline sniper. Right, and for the Curios. So we are running 2 plus 17 toughness Curios with extra toughness, toughness regeneration, and damage resistance gunners, because damage resistance gunners is very important because gunners do a lot of damage. And I've been saying this a lot more lately, that gunner resist doesn't just give us resist against gunners, it also gives us resist against reapers. And there is some back and forth whether it gives us damage resistant shotgunners. At this point, there are 2 camps, both think they're incredibly right about it. There's not enough data from Fat Shark to say whether it is or isn't. So, for the moment, we're going with it doesn't give damage resistance to shotgunners, but it might do. So, yeah. And last but not least, the final Curio. We're going for plus 3 stamina with extra toughness, stamina regeneration, and damage resistance gunners. We're taking this to give us the ability to dodge like a maniac, and if we have to, block a couple of hits. Though the blocking isn't really the major thing here, it's more the ability to bob and weave in and out of combat. So there you go, that is the weapon setup. And let's take a look at the talents. So we're going to be starting on the left side here with long shot, deal up to 20% ranged base damage. Bonus is reduced the nearer you are to the target. This is just going to help us snipe out stuff towards the back, and also get us down the path we're looking for, which is Exhilarating Takedown. Replenish 15% toughness and gain 10% toughness damage reduction for 8 seconds on a ranged weak spot kill. Stacks 3 times. We're mostly aiming for weak spots in this, so this is quite important for us. Into a health boost, into a toughness boost, and we're taking the Shredder Frag Grenade. And before you all cry out, yes, I don't usually take the Shredder Frag Grenade. I know why it's good. It's daggers, and it puts on horrific bleed damage to everything around it. It is a very good grenade. I just don't run it very often. But in this build we are. So this is going to be your room clear ability. And it's quite a fun ability. I'm going to show you exactly how it works. So You run into a room, it is full of bad men. What you can do, you can stealth up, hold down the right mouse button, and roll grenades into them while staying in stealth. Obviously, you can do it a lot faster than that, but so you can quite happily be in stealth and clear out an entire room by dropping as many frag grenades as you can during that time. And this is going to stack up those bleed stacks on everything, which is just going to clear it out. Very powerful with this build. And quite enjoyable. You become an invisible bomber. Next up, we're going for Catch Your Breath. Replenish 5% toughness per second while there are no enemies within 8 meters. This is quite fun because we are going to be jumping in and out of combat with our stealth, so we can move out, regen, and jump back in again. And then Survivalist. Replenish 1% ammo for you and allies in coherency whenever any of you kill an elite or specialist enemy. This can only occur once every 5 seconds. The Recon Lasgun is an absolute hose for ammunition, so this is just going to be quite helpful for us. And also, the team, but screw them, it's about us. Then we're coming down here for the reload speed. Don't really want it, but we want to get to the middle. Toughness damage reduction into demolition stockpile, which gives us regenerating grenades, so we don't have to fight Ogrins and Zealots for them. And then into critical chance boost into Grenadier, which gives us an extra grenade. So we're now running 4 shredder frag grenades. Into Infiltrate. Replenish all toughness and enter stealth for 8 seconds, gaining 25% movement speed. Leaving stealth suppresses nearby enemies. Attacking makes you leave stealth. We're not taking any of this because we actually do need to hit all of these things down here. So basically, we're going to be popping in and out of stealth to take out the most important targets. This is our get out of jail free card, and it's just quite funny to use. Then down here into the melee damage boost, and then into duck and dive, plus 30% stamina on avoiding range attacks by dodging, sprinting, or sliding. So we're going to try and get as much stamina regen as we can through the build, not through the Curios. Into stamina regeneration boost, stamina regeneration day reduction. And then into Onslaught, which is a very powerful talent used in combination with the Recon Lasgun, as we can quite quickly put 40% of brittleness, 40% brittleness on whatever target we are hosing down, which is going to make them a lot easier to kill. And then we're going for Reposicity, plus 5% critical hit chance for 8 seconds and successful dodge, stacks 5 times. This is quite a dodgy build, so this is going to be up a lot of the time. And then into Desperado, plus 10% melee critical hit chance and 25% melee finesse bonus. It's going to make our knife a lot more scary. Then over to the middle for a suppression dealt, which you don't really care about. Into Keep Their Heads Down, plus 50% ranged attack suppression. This is going to help our team. I know a lot of people don't like suppression because people say it makes it harder to shoot things. Yes, because they're hiding from you, which means they're not shooting at you, which means your team isn't dying. Suppression is quite important in this game, guys. Just embrace the suppression. Embrace it like a loved one. And then into Tactical Awareness. Combat ability cooldown reduced by 6 seconds on specialist enemy kill. We are going to be mostly hunting specialists, which is going to allow us to jump in and out of Infiltrate a lot more. And then Iron Will, one of the best talents in the veteran tree, plus 50% reduced toughness damage if above 75% toughness. Now, this doesn't work quite as well with this build as it does with Voice of Command, but Infiltrate does give us a big pile of toughness back. So every time we use that, it's going to be pinging Iron Will. And then into Demolition Team. You have a 5% chance to replenish a grenade when you or your ally in coherency kill an elite or special enemy. Now, this is a very fun talent. It's not massively meta, but it is fun. But if you really, really want to, you can dump that out for... Which one was it? Basically, you can pick between Surprise Attack or Hunter's Resolve if you don't want that. I quite like the Demolition Team because the grenades are quite a big part of this build. Being able to lay down that much damage with bleed and being able to stagger. I would say try it with Demolition Team. If it really isn't your bag, then obviously switch it out to something else. For example, Hunter's Resolve or Surprise Attack. But just give it a go. Honestly, it is hilarious when it starts working. And then over to this side, ranged damage boost into precision strikes, which gives us plus 30% weak spot damage. This is both in melee and ranged, so this is a very, very powerful talent point here. Into fully loaded for plus 25% ammo. Into shock trooper, critical hits with las weapons consume no ammo. Now this does have an internal cooldown. It's between, I think it's like 1.5 and 2.5 seconds. There is no real hard data on it. It's just what people have observed. And then into superiority complex, which gives us plus 15% base damage against elite enemies. So you may have noticed we're not hitting any of the keystones, but that is because we need the starting point of all of these trees to really maximize that damage. So how does the build play? Well, basically, you are going to be running around hosing down anything that is scary for your team. I mean, right there, that's no increased damage from tagging or anything like that. That is literally a crusher being hosed down. And that is thanks to brittleness and the perks we have on the gun, which are Dum Dum and Infernus. I may have forgotten to say that earlier on. So Dum Dum gives us a huge amount of damage close up, and Infernus just lays down those ticking burning lays down those dots of burning. A lot of people think that Infernus is really, really crap. It's not. It helps you really shred things. In combination with Dum Dum, brittleness, and Infernus, it's like the holy trinity of just disgusting amounts of damage. And as you can see, you can just hose down crushers. The only thing you can have trouble with is a bulwark from the front. But as you can see, you can just stab him from behind. Although my character is very, very short, so this is actually quite annoying for me. I really should change the size of them. And yes, height does change combat in this quite drastically. And of course, don't forget to roll your grenades when you're in stealth. To clear rooms, stagger everything, and just put bleed stacks all out. And of course, you have the infiltrate for jumping in and stabbing stuff. Now, if the Mark 6 isn't your bag, you can change this to the Mark 3. It has a slightly more predictable attack pattern, especially on the heavy attacks. Like that. I quite like the Mark 6, but these are pretty much interchangeable, depending on what your playstyle is like. The Mark 3 just has a much more predictable heavy attack pattern, whereas the Mark 6, it has more slashes, which are kind of help you out a little bit more in light attack scenarios. But it's completely up to you. Try them out, see what you think. Yeah, there you go, folks. It's a very fun... I'm going to call it meta. I mean, you know, I haven't spoken to the internet wizards to see if it is, but I'm going to call it meta. There you go, a meta stealth build for you. I really do hope you guys enjoy it. If you do, please do like, subscribe, ring that bell for notifications. It really does help us out. And if you've got any more suggestions for builds, please do let me know in the comments down below, and I'll be happy to try and knock something up for you. So, until next time, take it easy. I'll see you later.